Are we on?
I think so.
I think we're on.
Our picture's there.
Hi guys.
Hi everybody.
Good evening and welcome to American English Explained with Barry and Sherry. I'm Barry.
And I'm Sherry. And we're the owners of ETHOS English School here in the warm and sunny Cebu City, Philippines, where you can come and study with American teachers in small class groups. And you can even stay in the homes of your teachers. We'd love to have you come and study with us.
In each of these broadcasts, we're going to try to pick some small thing that has to do with English and explain it in a way that we hope will help you to speak better English and have more confidence in using your English.
Okay, good. We'd like to invite you to watch and participate in our classes. Don't just sit there and watch. Send us your questions and comments, and we'll do our best to help you find answers. Because we're new to Instagram and don't recognize your names, your Instagram names, please write your first name at the beginning of any comments so that we know who you are.
Yeah.
Okay?
We're not real good with the coded names with numbers and stuff like that. You got to remember we're kind of old people, so you have to be careful with us.
Right. Okay. So Barry, what are we going to talk about today?
Well, I thought it would be good for us to start tonight by talking about idioms.
Okay, great choice. So idioms are very important in English. We use them a lot in our everyday conversations. Before we start, though, maybe you should give a little background information before you start talking about them.
Okay, that's a good idea. And I'll ask you to help me along the way?
Sure.
Okay, so when you study English, oh, that's really cute, a heart with the little heart thingies going out of it. That's really cool.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody. So when you study English, I'm sure that all of you have heard of these things we call the parts of speech. Very, very, very important to understand when we're talking about English. So there are 8 of these things.
Right. We have nouns, pronouns, adjectives, verbs, adverbs, prepositions, conjunctions, and interjections. These are the 8 parts of speech that we use in English. These are the foundation of English grammar.
Okay, very good. Well, in English we also have a lot of other things, and one of the things we have in English is a kind of thing called a figure of speech. Now that's different from parts of speech. So what's a figure of speech? A figure of speech is where we use words and phrases that we use in a non-literal way to add emphasis to something that we say or something that we write.
Okay, so what do you mean by non-literal?
Non-literal. You don't know what non-literal means?
Tell them what non-literal means.
Okay, that means, when we say something is literal, that means you use the definition of the word that's in the dictionary, and then you put that definition into the sentence, and you understand what the sentence is saying. But sometimes in English we use words that are not to be taken literally. We use them in what is called a figurative way. Okay? So, let me give you an illustration here. Okay, I have a sentence. Can you see that sentence? I hope that's not backwards.
I think it's right.
Okay, what does this sentence say? Okay, he has courage like a lion. Okay, now this is a figure of speech. Like a lion is a figure of speech. Okay, so this, you guys see this, right? And it's not backwards. Okay, so just want to make sure because in my viewer here everything is backwards. Okay, so this is a certain kind of a figure of speech that's called a simile. Now we'll talk more about these in future broadcasts. But right now, I just want to focus on the idea of what a figure of speech is. So look at this sentence. He has courage like a lion.
Okay, so here then the speaker is using our knowledge of the quality of lions to emphasize a point about the courage inside of a person. Oops, did we go too far?
No, okay.
Okay. Even if we've never heard about this before, we can figure out its meaning because we know something about lions. We know that lions are courageous, right?
Yeah, right. This person is not a lion. He's not saying that this person is a lion. No, he's saying that this person is courageous like a lion, meaning that he's the person who's writing is thinking, well, everyone knows what a lion is. Everyone knows that lions are courageous and they're not afraid of anything. And so he's using this as a way to describe his person. And that's how figures of speech work. Figures of speech take words and phrases and things that we already know about and then use those in sentences to provide emphasis, to emphasize something. And that's all that figures of speech really are.
Okay, so how about idioms? How does this fit in with all this?
Can you use outside camera? I don't understand.
I'm not sure.
Not sure what that means. I'm sorry, what was your question?
What are idioms?
Idioms are like parts of speech. Idioms use words and phrases that are not in a literal meaning situation. Words are left and right reverse. Oh, so it is backwards. Sorry.
Don't know how to reverse it.
How about that? Can you see that?
We'll fix that next time. We're still learning this technology.
Next time we'll print them backwards. Okay, so anyway, back to idioms. Idioms are like parts of speech. With an idiom, you're using words that are not intended to be taken literally. They're going to be used in a non-literal way. Idioms come to exist when a person makes up a phrase and uses it to describe something, and the people who hear it, they like it so much that they start repeating it, and then other people repeat it, and it becomes popular, and the popularity gets so great that it spreads all throughout the entire language community. Now, idioms can be used as parts of speech. They can be used to describe something, but they can also be sentences that stand alone by themselves. And so they have, in that situation, that an idiom that's a sentence will have its own meaning, and it will be unique. And like we said, you have to understand these before you can use them.
All right, so then what's the difference then between the figures of speech and idioms?
Well, your basic figures of speech are words and phrases that aren't used literally, that if you look at the sentence and you look up the word, you can understand what it means in that sentence. Like the sentence we had before. We haven't had it before. We're going to look at it. Okay, let's look at this sentence. Okay. Don't know if you can see it, but the sentence says, Abraham Lincoln was a giant among men. Abraham Lincoln was a giant among men. Okay. Now, think about that sentence. Abraham Lincoln was a giant among men. Was Abraham Lincoln a giant? Was he like 40 feet tall? No, he was not a giant. So you have to understand what is being said here in order to be able to get what the meaning of the sentence is.
Okay. So idioms then, the meaning must be explained.
Yes.
Okay, you have to know what an idiom means before you can understand what is meant, or how to use it yourself.
Okay. Now this sentence with Mr. Lincoln, though, is not an idiom. It's just a regular part of speech called a metaphor.
Okay.
Now why is that?
All right, so the sentence then is saying something about Mr. Lincoln, who was a famous American president, right? So you can figure out the meaning of the sentence by thinking about what the word giant can mean. So we know that a giant refers to something that's really large or is great. Therefore, the point about Mr. Lincoln is that he is in some way great compared to other people.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. Okay. Now, let's look at another sentence. I got another sentence here. Now, unfortunately, it's printed backwards for you guys, so once again, I don't know if you can see it. Okay. If the lighting is good, you can see the sentence. It says, that car he bought is a lemon.
Okay.
That car he bought is a lemon. Now, this is an idiom. This is an idiom that's being used as a metaphor. Okay, it's describing the car that the guy bought. And it's very, very important to understand what it means.
Okay.
But you can't get the meaning of this car is a lemon by going to the dictionary and looking it up, because this is an idiom. It has to be explained.
Okay. So what does a lemon have to do with a car? Okay, it's a fruit. It's a fruit. It has a sour taste. People use it for cooking. We use it in drinks, and even for making desserts, like lemon bars. You guys know about lemon bars. What does that have to do, though, with a car? The person didn't buy a lemon and use it for a car, right?
Well, of course, silly. You can't use a lemon for a car. A lemon's a little bitty tiny thing. Like, what do? Put 4 wheels on it and then try to drive it? That would be what? A super duper subcompact car? Something like that. No. You can't figure out what lemon means in this sentence by looking at the definition or how it's used in the sentence. However, once you understand that English-speaking people commonly use the unpleasant sour taste that you have inside of a lemon to refer to the unpleasant experience of buying something and then finding out that it doesn't work right or it's poor quality, so that you're not satisfied with what you bought, that is the meaning of this phrase, bought a lemon. So this guy bought a car, and when he got possession of it, he found out it didn't work the way it was supposed to. And so he was upset because he got a bad deal.
Okay. So the most important thing to remember then about idioms is that you must first understand what it means before you can use it. Okay? All right. So let's try this. Okay? Now, we've looked at the idiom. Now I want you to see if you can try using this in a sentence.
This is going to be difficult.
All right.
Okay,
so
we have this sentence.
Here, all right. So we have that blank I bought is a lemon. Okay? That blank I bought is a lemon. So we need to fill in this blank with a word. Okay? What kind of word do we need to put into this blank here in order for us to make it complete, to finish the thought here?
What do you mean? What kind of word?
Is it a noun? Is it a verb? An adjective? What part of speech? What do we use to put in this sentence? What do you guys think?
What do you guys think? What kind of word? What kind of word do we need to put here?
If you have an answer, please put it on. Please type it in for us.
Somebody can get this, I'm sure. What kind of word do we need to put here? A noun, a verb, an adjective. That blank I bought is a lemon. In other words, it's bad quality.
Any guesses?
Any guess?
All right. What do you think, Barry? What do we need to put here?
Oh, it's got to be a noun.
Okay.
It's got to be a thing. That thing I bought. So you have
Very good.
You have to put
Somebody
it.
got the answer there.
Kaz got it. It's good, Kaz.
Right,
okay, so
we need a noun.
So that blank I bought is a lemon.
Okay.
So it's a noun. So we can't use certain nouns, right? I mean, like I can't use food items. Like I can't say that lemon I bought is a lemon.
Of course not, silly. We would never say that. We use this idiom to refer to objects, things that we can buy that are defective or maybe not working correctly. Food is not like that. It has to be something that can be defective.
Yeah, so you can't say that fruit I bought is a lemon. That would be literal. The fruit I bought is a lemon. Remember, you're using idioms, so this is the thing that you're going to put in the blank is something that you bought that didn't work or it was defective, and you're upset and you're angry because you're unhappy because you paid money for this and it's not working the way it was supposed to. And so it's a very negative situation.
Okay.
Okay, so can you guys think of any words that you could put there? That blank I bought is a lemon. Now, he used the example of car. That car I bought was a lemon. What about other things? What are some things? Maybe devices. Can you think of a device that you could buy that you could put in there? Like that cell phone I bought.
That would work.
Is a lemon. See, so you buy a cell phone and you bring it home and you put it together and you try to use it and some of the features don't work the way they were supposed to. So you can say, well, that cell phone I bought is a lemon. Other things, that microwave oven I bought is a lemon. That Swimming pool I bought is a lemon. I mean, any kind of object that you pay for, that pretty much is it. But you can't use fruit. You can't use fruit. You can't use anything that you eat, that kind of stuff. It has to be some kind of a device or some kind of a tangible object.
It needs to have some kind of a working thing in it. Okay?
Okay.
Hi, everybody.
So,
thanks for joining.
We got another sentence for you. Okay. Same idea. Now, again, I'm sorry we have to go through the back. The sentence here says, this is actually what we call an imperative. It's like an order. Don't buy a blank. It's a lemon. It's two sentences. The first sentence is, don't buy a blank because it's a lemon. This is a really common phrase we use in American English, and that's one of the reasons why we're starting with this one. So, again, fill in the blank. Don't buy a blank. It's a lemon. Now, when you use this one, you have to be very specific, right?
Yes, that's right.
So, what are some of the things you could use?
Well, you could use things like we mentioned a little while ago, cell phone, TV, something that is functioning.
But you couldn't say don't buy a cell phone because it's a lemon. You'd have to be more specific, wouldn't you?
That's true. That's true. You have to be, maybe you have to give a brand name. Don't buy a Samsung cell phone because it's the lemon. Because you know that, well, no offense to Samsung, but it could be that every experience you've had with Samsung doesn't work. So a Samsung cell phone is a lemon. So
well, and the Samsung people would say, don't buy an iPhone X because it's a lemon.
Right.
You
so
know.
any device you think is not going to be good, you would say it's a lemon.
So if you were going to talk about cars, you would have to be specific about some car. Like, don't buy a Toyota Corolla.
That's right.
You
can't just say don't buy a car, it's defective. It's a lemon. You have to say...
You have to be very specific.
Very specific. That's right.
So the idea here with the idea of the lemon idiom is that it's something that is supposed to function in a certain way, but it doesn't. And it makes you upset because you paid money for it and it's supposed to work, but it doesn't.
Right.
That's what a lemon is.
That's right.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions about this particular idiom, about lemons, using lemon as an idiom? Remember, it's negative, and it has to have something to do with things you buy, devices. You could use CD or DVD. That DVD I bought is a lemon, but you couldn't talk about the movie. Like if you bought a DVD of a movie and you watched it and you didn't like the movie, you couldn't say that movie I bought is a lemon. No. But you could say if the DVD was scratched and the disc, you put the disc in and it didn't work and it needs to be replaced, then you could say that DVD I bought is a lemon.
That's correct.
But that's the disc, not the contents of the disc.
That's correct.
So that's another thing to remember about using this idiom.
That's right.
But this is a real common idiom that's used by American English speakers. Okay. Are there other idioms that you know of that use the idea of lemon?
Yes, there are. We have a very common one that we use. It says, if life gives you lemons, make lemonade.
Okay, can you see this? If life gives you lemons, make lemonade.
You guys know what lemonade is, right? It's a juice that we make with lemon and add sugar. It tastes really good.
It's a drink.
It's a drink.
It's a non-alcoholic drink.
I'm sure they know what.
You squeeze lemons into water, put sugar with it, put ice in it. Really, really good drink to have during summertime when it's really hot in Texas. Really good. Okay, so what do you think this means? When life gives you lemons, that's a negative thing. So when life gives you lemons, that's giving you stuff that is not good quality, that breaks, causes you troubles, problems, difficulties. Okay? So that's the idea here of the first part. If life gives you lemons, what do you do with lemons? Well, if you just eat lemons by themselves, it's really sour and it's not nice. But you can take lemons and make them into something that's really nice, really sweet and good, and something that people love to drink.
Right.
So what do you think that means? Because there's got to be a meaning here. And it's not literal. You're not going to make lemonade. You're going to do something about this situation that you have. So, what do you think?
Well, what do you guys think? Can you tell from what Barry's just explained what we mean by when life gives you lemons, make lemonade? Write some comments there if you have an idea.
What is the relationship between lemons and lemonade?
Anybody have a comment? What do you think?
Hello? Is anybody there?
Hi guys.
I can see you.
Okay. All right, Barry. What's the difference between lemons and lemonades? What's the relationship between lemons and lemonade?
Well, lemons, you have to have lemons to make lemonade.
True.
Okay. So you take these pieces of fruit that are very, very sour tasting, and you put them together with other things to make something that's really sweet.
Hi, cuz.
So that's the point of this. So you take the lemons represents difficulties in your life, and the lemonade represents success in your life. So if life gives you difficulties, if life gives you lemons, then make lemonade. Find some way to take the bad experiences and turn them into good experiences.
Right. That's exactly right. So if you experience something bad in your life, try to make something good from it. That's what we mean when we say if life gives you lemons, which is something bad, or not necessarily good, make something good come from that.
And so, for example, let's say you lose your job. So use your time off to get some extra schooling, learn a new task, a new skill that can help you to get an even better job next time.
That's right. So
that would be an example of this.
Instead of just moping around and being sad that you lost your job, make good use of the time and make something good come from a bad situation. All right?
Okay. So, anyone have any questions? Because we're about done for the day.
All right, so we have lots of you guys who have come in today. Thanks so much for coming in. We want to thank you for being with us. Anybody there? All right, so we want to thank all of you for your participation today. But Barry and I have one final question.
Sure, what's your question?
How did this word lemon become an idiom?
Well, it's just like we said at the beginning of this. Somewhere in the past, some person used the word lemon in this way for the first time. And then other people heard it being used. And so this unique usage spread and expanded to the entire English-speaking community. And now it's a common phrase that's used in everyday English conversation. And that's how it became an idiom.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So it's too bad that people who create idioms aren't remembered, because you could become famous.
Okay. Well, that's right. In fact, anyone can create idioms. If you guys, any of you, if you come up with a phrase and it goes viral, then you will have created an idiom. And by the way, that phrase goes viral, that is an idiom in itself, which is really cool.
All right, so idioms really are cool, and it's interesting to study their history. So maybe we can include this in some of our future sessions. Just real quick, somebody asked a question about what time is it now. Here where we are, which is in the Philippines, it's now 10:20 in the evening. Okay? So if you want to join us next time,
that's
10
1
o'clock.
hour behind you.
Right.
So y'all are living 1 hour ahead of us. So we will catch up with you someday, later. Okay, well that sounds great. This is all the time we have for this particular lesson. We really appreciate you guys being here with us today, and we appreciate your participation, although we would love to have much more participation. Maybe next time. So we invite you to come back for another visit, and if you would like to receive a copy of our material for today, for today's lesson, if you'll send us your email address, we'll be very happy to forward a copy to you.
All right. So in our next episode, we're going to look at some more idioms used in everyday American English conversation, and we hope to see you back then.
Until then, this is Barry
And Sherry
of ETHOS English School saying Matana.
Matana. Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for being here. Hope to see you again.